Hi there team, welcome to the first week of our strength cycle. We're going to be running this cycle for the next 12 weeks with the goal of improving our overall strength, and we're going to use the functional movements to do it. The functional movements, these are the movements we do in our everyday life. We squat, we bend, we push, we pull, and these are the movements that give us the biggest bang for buck for our strength. So deadlifts, squats, bench press, pull up, you'll see these over the programming, in the programming over the week. And importantly, we're going to be working progressively to improve your weights and your scores over time. Now, last year when we did this, we worked with a percentage system, and this worked really well. Everyone got great PRs and got very strong in those 12 weeks. This year, we're changing things slightly. We're going to be working with something called RPE, that's rate of perceived exertion. And RPE is used to respect the individual elements that are going on in your life and using those to dictate how heavy you're lifting on the day. So if you compare this to percentages are always based on your 1 rep max, and it'll say you're doing 80% of your 1 rep max, you must do this weight. RPE says you should be working at this sort of effort today relative to how you're feeling, and then you'll work out the numbers based on how you're feeling. So on those days you might feel really good, like a Monday or a Tuesday, start of the week, you've come off a great weekend, and the bar's moving and feeling really good. These are the days when you want to increase your weight and really push yourself. On the days when you're not feeling as good, that's when you can take down the weight, but the overall progression is going to have you increasing the weight over time. So the way RPE works is on a scale of 10. So it goes from 1 to 10, but really is 5 to 10 is where it matters. I'm going to start at the top here. If something's a 10 out of 10 for rate of perceived exertion, this is where you can't possibly do another rep. You're working as hard as possible. If you imagine yourself under a heavy back squat, you're shaking to come up, the bar's moving so slowly, and that's the upper end of your limit. No reps can be done after that. That's a 10 for RPE. We hit that only very occasionally. Most of the time we spend out in around here, 7 to 9. Now, with a 9 RPE, you should have about 1 to 2 reps left in reserve. Okay, so you're finishing your set, you're like, that was bloody tough, and if I had a chance to do another rep, I might be able to get 1 or 2 more out. RPE 8 is when we have about 2 to 3 reps in reserve. So if something's at RPE 8, a lot of your lifts will be this, and we will be working towards that like 2 to 3 reps. Still should be very hard. RPE 7 is 3 to 4 reps in reserve, and that means a lot of your lifting is going to be based on this. The important thing with RPE is that in RPE 7, which is where we're going to be spending a lot of time, this is going to change day to day. So for example, we've got 5x5 back squats one week and 5x5 back squats the next week, both are RPE 7. In the first week, you might be coming out of some stressful work deadlines, not a lot of sleep, and nutrition may not be that on point. So that RPE 7 might be a different weight than what it will the next week, where all those things are dialed in and we're feeling awesome, okay? But still, it's about a 7 out of 10 for feeling, right? So you might be lifting 60 kilos, and it might be bloody hard. Despite your 1 rep max being 150 kilos, that 60 kilos might be really hard, and that might be an RPE 7. The next week, when you're feeling really good, you're still at RPE 7, but you might be lifting 70 kilos, but the feeling is very similar. We've all had those moments where, it's 60 kilos in the bar, but it feels like 160 kilos. So this is how we can use the elements that you've got in the outside world to dictate how we're going to train in here. Ideally, we're aiming for more good days than bad. Coming in here and just and feeling great all the time where the RPE is consistent, but that's not always the case. So we're going to let you guys dictate the weight yourself that way. It's going to take a little bit to get used to RPE and what it should feel like. And really in RPE, like 9 or 10, what that really feels like, it shouldn't be like, oh, that was hard. It should be, as hard as possible. And that's going to be a case of you just getting stuck in and doing the lifting. At the end of the 12 weeks, we're going to do some testing again, the same test we did last week. And on Saturday for your 1RM testing with the goal of increasing that. And what we should find through all of this work and just the consistent layering on of strength is that everything else gets easier. Your efficiency on the bar gets easier. Your gymnastics gets easier because you're doing a lot of pull-ups. And even think something like stronger legs can help box jumps, kettlebell swings. So when it comes to conditioning, we're able to easily and more efficiently get through a workout. Now, on the programming side of things, again, yes, we'll be favoring this, so you're going to see this weekly, but we're not going to do it at the expense of our conditioning. So a good strength program should always include conditioning. It helps the whole circle, and particularly in CrossFit. So no, we're not going to get rid of gymnastics, conditioning. You're going to see the same thing, but we're just going to see the strength movement, those consistent strength movements every week. If you've got any questions about the strength program, please hit me up or one of the other coaches up. The best way to understand what's going on and to get the most out of it is to come to class and start shifting to some heavy weight and start seeing your results. All the best for the next 12 weeks, team. Have a read of the article that I'm going to send you as well, and you'll get a lot out of it. I'll catch you on the floor.